So my mom grew up 100% unchurched. Her father was an atheist and her mother an agnostic, and it had never occurred to her to be a part of a religious community until she moved to St. Cloud, Minnesota in the early 1980s. At that time, St. Cloud was made up mostly of conservative German Catholic farm families. My mom felt like she had nothing in common with folks in this new place. She had grown up in Chicago and then lived in Minneapolis for 7 years, so she was a city person through and through, nothing to do with the farm. In addition to being not at all Catholic, she was also not particularly conservative. She says that she felt like a fish out of water in this new place and didn't know how to find her people. Have any of you ever felt like that? One day, while at the public library with her 2 young kids, she struck up a conversation with someone who she finally felt like she might be able to connect with. And of course, this person was just about to move back to the Twin Cities. But this person gave her an important, I'm going to say life-changing tip. They said, if you want to find like-minded people, try the St. Cloud Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Now, I know that my mom must have been pretty desperate for community at this point, because she went and tried it out all by herself, even though the idea of going to a church made no sense to her at all. But she went, and she says somehow it did make sense when she got there. The things they talked about were things that mattered to her, and the values resonated. She found a community. It was not necessarily the place she found her best friends, but it was a community. People of all ages who she came to care about and who care about her. She found people with whom she had things in common and people who were different but shared the same values. She learned that she liked the practice of being part of a religious community, which kind of shocked her. I think it kind of still does sometimes. She liked coming together regularly with people to think about those big questions of life. More than 40 years later, she is still an active member there, coordinating music, currently serving on their ministerial search team, and being one of their main tech people somehow over the last 4 years, and still finding community, connecting with old and new members alike. Her story is not that different from the stories I hear from folks in this congregation. We are a community of seekers, yes, but perhaps even more than that, we are seekers of community. We could be spiritual seekers or justice advocates or musicians or meditators or any of number of things we do here on our own. We could do those on our own. But the reason we are here, the reason we gather, is that we want to do those things in community. It's not surprising to me how many people name community as their impetus for showing up at a UU church. At the core of Unitarian Universalism is this belief that we are better together, that we in fact need one another, that we're inherently connected and actually cannot exist in isolation. Community is literally what we are all about. And we know, don't we, that we need community now more than ever. In this political climate, after a week like this one, with so many of our rights under attack, we need to know that there are people who have our back, who will fight with us and for us, who will love us no matter what, and who will hold us in the moments of heartbreak and fear. We can all do hard things, but it's so much easier when we do them together. My husband, Tristan, also grew up 100% unchurched. Even in his first years as a minister's partner, he rarely came to church. We had this basic agreement that once we had kids, he would bring them, But until then, special occasions were enough. So when he told me the week after the 2016 election that he was going to start coming to church, the church I serve, I was surprised. When I asked why, his answer was simple. He said, "If they come for me, I want to know that there is a community who will fight for me." So I want you to know, if you have made your way here in person or online for the first time, or the 500th time, or the 1000th time, or however long it is for those of you who have been around for 80 years, I want you to know that we do indeed have your back. We will fight for you, and we will make sure that you do not need to survive this time alone. We are seekers of community, and I hope finders of community too. May you find here the community that you need to get you through even the most difficult of days. May it be so.